Hello everyone and welcome to the first installment in the Favourites of 2021 series. I did this last year, it was really well received, so we're doing it again this year. Starting off with foundation, we're going to run through all of the categories. These are going to be my personal favourites, so in these videos I'm trying to keep them as short and sweet as possible, so I better stop waffling on. We are going to have my ultimate favourites in each category, my affordable favourite in each category, and also if neither of those two options are cruelty-free, I'm going to give you a cruelty-free favourite as well. So it has been hard to narrow it down to that degree. The more foundations that I try, the harder it gets, and I've tried some really good ones this year, so it's been extremely difficult. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new videos on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there, and I'd really appreciate it if by the end of this video you found it helpful. You come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack. They are the best subscribers in the entire world by clicking on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. So like I said, this video is going to focus on my favourite products. These are the items that I reach for most often, that I absolutely adore and I cannot do without. If I ran out of them, I would have to dash out immediately and go and buy another one, but you all know me by now. I wouldn't let it get to that extent. I would always have a spare waiting in the wings. So we are going to kick it off with foundation today. We are going to run through every single category, starting from today and finishing in the first week of 2022. So it is quite a long series, but I hope you all enjoy it and are looking forward to it as much as me. Let's get started. Okay, so let's kick it off with my ultimate favourite foundation, and even though I have tried a lot of foundations in 2021 and many of them looked stunning on my skin, there were really only two contenders for my top spot. And if you're a regular to my channel, you probably won't be surprised at which foundation pipped everything to the post. The first contender was the La Mer The Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation. This was introduced to me by Stephanie Marie not that long ago. Everything she said about this foundation was correct. I absolutely adore it. However, nothing compares to my ultimate favourite, which is the Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Matte. I have never tried a foundation like this, ever. This immediately airbrushes over my texture, over my pores, over all of my imperfections, and my skin is flawless with very little product. So this does cost a pretty penny, I'm not gonna lie. However, for me, it's worth the splurge. For the main point that one, it's stunning, and two, you use so little of this, it probably is going to last me 2 or 3 times longer than a regular foundation. So I would say, considering the amount of time this is going to last before I need to buy a new one, this probably costs just a fraction more than a regular Dior foundation, which I love Dior foundations. You all know I love Dior foundations, but since I found this one, they don't get a look in. So this is available in 31 shades. It gives medium to full coverage. It has a natural matte finish. It's long wearing, it's transfer resistant, but it does contain the smallest amount of alcohol and a fragrance. So as per usual, this is going to look different on the skin depending on what you team it with. So if you team it with a mattifying SPF or a mattifying primer, then this is going to look more matte than if you team it with something that is more illuminating. If I team this with something that is very skin-like, then this looks a very, very natural matte. But even if I team it with something that's quite mattifying, this does not look flat and matte on me. It still looks very, very skin-like, even though I'm getting medium to full coverage. So I'm actually quite sad that I tried this out, because since I've tried this out, nothing compares. And I'm always comparing every single foundation to this one, and they just don't measure up. But yeah, this is my ultimate favourite. It's pricey though, isn't it? So after the huge price tag of the Clé de Peau, I think we're in need of a slightly more affordable option. By the way, the shade that I am in the Clé de Peau is 010 in light ochre, and this is suitable for anybody with a combination oily skin all the way to a dry skin. I have dry skin, I just think this is perfection on me. If you have seriously dry patches, I wouldn't recommend this, but I would, if you're wanting to push the boat out, go for the Radiant Natural version of this, which has all the same properties but a slightly more flattering sheen on the surface of the skin for those dry skin folks. So yeah, if you're wanting to push the boat out and you've got seriously dry skin, I would go in that direction, but I love this one. But I digress. Going on to my affordable favourite. Now, there were actually a couple of contenders for the top spot of the affordable category as well, but the second option is actually going to feature in my favourite cruelty-free category, which has two foundations in there because I couldn't narrow it down. My favourite in the affordable category goes to Physicians Formula with the Butter Believe It foundation and concealer. I love this. I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anybody. I have talked about this foundation a lot on my channel. It's got its own dedicated review. If you want to check that out, I will link it up here for you so you can watch that after this video. But I love it. It just makes my skin look flawless. And it's got the most beautiful satin sheen to the skin. So absolutely adoring it, but there is a couple of drawbacks that I really don't like. So firstly, this only comes in 12 shades, which I feel need improving, and if you're in the UK, you've got a double whammy because we only get a selection of those 12 shades. I find also that my shade in Fair to Light, which is perfection on me to begin with, slightly oxidizes throughout the day, which I find a little bit annoying. So this gives a radiant luminous finish and is suitable for normal to dry skins. I wouldn't say that this is suitable for a seriously oily skin, but if you've tried this with a really oily skin and you love it, please do let everybody know. This gives medium to full coverage. It's seriously nourishing and hydrating with glycerin and emollient butters, which is why I don't think it would be suitable for anybody with a seriously oily skin, but it does dry down. This is not tacky to the touch. It's non-drying. It is alcohol-free, but it does contain a fragrance. So I've said this many times before, if I tried this for the first time in a blind test, I would never in a million years have known that this was an affordable option. The quality is that good. Moving on to the cruelty-free category, as you know, there are two foundations that are on the top spot because I really just could not pick them apart. My first option is from IT Cosmetics and it's the Your Skin But Better foundation and concealer. This is amazing, and I've recently found this again doing my best skin-like foundation video. Again, if you've not seen that, I will link it up here for you, but this is so stunning on the skin. It's so skin-like. You can get anywhere from light all the way up to a medium full coverage, I would say, or rather the other way around. I got that wrong. A full medium coverage, not a medium full coverage. I think if you build this one up, it looks a little heavy, so anything more than a full medium coverage, I would say would look a little off. So this actually comes in 40 different shades, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's also suitable for all skin types. I've known really dry skins absolutely love this, and also oily skins love this as well. So I do think it's universal. Obviously, again, depending on what you team this with, if you go more matte with what you team it with, it will look more matte, and vice versa the other way around. So if you do have seriously dry skin, I would team it with something a little bit more radiant. This gives a natural radiant finish. However, I feel this has got the longevity of a matte foundation. I do actually believe that without the microfine crushed pearl particles in here, this would be a matte foundation. It's those pearl particles that give it its radiance and give your skin that luminosity, which is incredibly flattering on the skin. This, like all of the other foundations, doesn't sink into my fine lines, it doesn't sink into my pores or my texture. It's also got added skincare benefits benefits in this. So it's got aloe vera to soothe and calm and glycerin to hydrate the skin. And you all know my opinions on glycerin. I think it's the unsung hero. It's so hydrating and nourishing on the skin. This is also transfer resistant. And because of the consistency of this, it's super lightweight on the skin. You will not know that you've got it on, and it's long wearing. It lasts 10 to 12 hours on me, and yeah, absolutely adore it. This is also alcohol, fragrance, and essential oil free, so what is not to like? Moving on to my affordable cruelty-free option. Now, usually I wouldn't have this option in this video because I wanted to keep it as short as possible, but I was so desperate to put this foundation in because it deserves a spot in this video. It's so beautiful on my skin. Again, another recent refind because I actually tried this a really long time ago and loved it, but because of the ingredients, or rather lack of nasty ingredients in this foundation, I gave it B because she wanted to dabble with foundation and completely forgot about it. And it was only about a month and a half ago that I stole it back off her. This is from Flower Beauty and it's the Light Illusion Foundation, suitable for all skin types, comes in 15 shades. Again, if you're from the UK, the shade range is more limited and it's available at Superdrug. This gives light to medium coverage with a radiant dewy finish. It's hydrating, it's smoothing, it softens all of my imperfections. It also gives that soft focus effect on my skin. My mum actually came in the other day when I had this on and she said how beautiful my skin looked, which I think says it all. This is also long lasting, so even though it gives a radiant finish, it's not tacky to the touch. And I find that it is slightly transfer resistant for a time, not for the entire wear of the foundation, but for a time, it is definitely transfer resistant. Again, doesn't fit in my fine lines, wrinkles, any dryness. It's fragrance, essential oil, and alcohol free, but it does contain an SPF of 18, which is a real bugbear for me. I've said this plenty of times in my videos. Why bother putting an SPF of 18 in it? It's practically useless anyway, and a lot of people are sensitive to some SPF ingredients. So this has octinoxate, titanium dioxide, and zinc oxide in here. So if you are sensitive to any of those, you're going to want to give this one a miss, which is such a shame because it's so beautiful. So that's it. They are my favourite foundations of 2021. Some of them have made another appearance from my favourites of 2020. I know the IT Cosmetics made an appearance in 2020 as my favourite cruelty-free foundation. It deserved its place then. It still deserves its place now. It's absolutely fantastic. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you list all of your favourite foundations from every category if you want to in the comment section below. I'd really love to know what foundations you've all been loving wearing during 2021. I really hope you're all excited for this series to continue. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.